Hi, we're Keith and Melissa. Now, I'm sure it's at this time, it's you're thinking like many people, maybe we'll just take this extra time, quit, feel bad about ourselves, binge watch Netflix, play with the kids, and figure out what we're going to do with our lives when this all comes to an end.
Like pull the blankets over your head
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just fast forward a couple of months and think things will be right back to normal. But
Yeah, that's one thought. Another thought would be to just get busy. Again, there's no reason not to be busy, even though work is dried up like crazy for us. But it doesn't seem like we're any less busy. Of course, the kids are home from school, which just seems to make every moment, that much more parenty.
in fact, right now there's 4 dogs, 2 kids, like within feet of us right now.
Right? Yeah. And the only reason you can't hear them is because we banished them outside. So, but you will probably hear them through the window shortly. That said, again, family's a great thing. So we're happy to have them around, and we want them all to stay healthy. But you've got to take care of business. Business doesn't stop. Business seems to have stopped. It seems to have come to a complete standstill. But the reality is, this will pass. We've heard this before, and you're going to hear it again, and it's 100% true. We're all in this together. So you got to figure out what to do. We've already talked about binge watching Netflix. Fun, not productive though. How about revisiting your website? Maybe you don't have a website and you're new to this whole thing, and therefore you need a website so you can build it. If, on the other hand, you have a website and haven't looked at it because you've been so busy, then it's time to look at your website, see what works, what doesn't work, and again, make it better. There's networking, which seems to have been put on halt with all this shelter-in-place stuff and whatnot. But instead, you can virtually network, call people up, schedule meetings, do what you're going to do. Just call relatives, call friends. Consider some of your vendors, again, the people that you know that you're friends. So you're not necessarily calling up, it's the people that you don't know, and saying that you don't want to be a jerk about it, but again, there's compassion you can have and still let people know. Again, it just is, you don't have to talk business. You can literally just, hey, how you doing? So really, just let people know you're out there. You don't have to, and I advise against doing it every day. Don't be a pest. But let people know that you're still around and that you exist. So we were talking about the things you can do, such as website stuff like that. Well, she's the one that does almost all of our website stuff. It used to be me a long time ago. It's gotten better and more frequently updated because of her. So let her talk about this.
Well, I just think that now's the time to really work harder, to adapt, and to innovate. And I think sometimes, I think you just mentioned it, your website may have, become a little bit stale. May look great visually, but maybe you've had the same images up for a few years, or maybe you have, a few weddings or, portrait shoots that you've got some great stuff, or maybe you have a personal project. You should add something, that reflects more like how you're currently, something you're currently working on. But just take, or even have someone else take a look at your website, your About You section, different parts, different wording, and just upgrade it, change it, or if you think it's working perfectly fine, then maybe start working more on your blog, which I think is a great idea anyway, since blogging to me is one of the number one marketing tools we have, and it doesn't cost us anything except our time. So even maybe a guest blog on different people, different planners, or different industry professionals. Maybe you can do something reciprocal where you work out a strategy to guest post on each other's blogs. Yeah. I don't know, I think it's just time to start writing, start innovating, start working harder at stuff that is already there, but we're all sitting on tens of thousands of photos. Maybe have a fresh eye, look at some of your pictures, and start.
It's a great time if you like Instagram. I think on the blogging thing, it seems like something that just seems so like a million years ago by today's standards, which like 2009. But we get a lot of leads from our blog, and it's search engines still like to see words. So as much as you get from Instagram and all these other cool and fun and interesting things that are more now, turns out that was just the old-fashioned blogging, which it just comes very, very, it becomes, there's just so much out there that you can put on. And you've got old content that you might have put on years ago. If you're just now starting, one day you'll be booking things based on stuff you're doing now. So like Melissa mentioned, you've got a year's worth of photographs. Go through them. Again, you put up posts. You can do it on Instagram. You can do it on your blog. Just go through things. You'll find it's like going through the old shoebox of photos, and you're like, "Oh, I haven't seen this in forever." Well, cool. It brings back a memory. That's kind of why we're photographers. So just expound on that. Again, the thing to do now is it's a great time to set goals. Again, when you're in the grind, wedding after job, whatever your specialty is, you're probably spending a lot of time photographing it, communicating with the client, editing, delivering, and then it becomes just a wash, rinse, repeat cycle. So where do you find time to do other things? Well, now you got time to market.
Market is one thing, but like setting goals, it could
Setting
be
goals.
to set overall goals. So again, we're overviewing a bunch of stuff that will be individual, podcasts, because I feel that goal setting is one of the number one things you can do, whether that's like a dream board for your future or that's 3 weekly goals, and that you continuously, I think there's a great accomplishment when you click things off of your list. Like when you set goals, you accomplish them, and then you move on to the next task, whether it be a big task that you're looking at your monthly goal, your annual goal, or small tasks that make up every single day. Without these goals, it's amazing how time just disappears and things don't get accomplished. So to me, at least I think for us, why our business continues to move forward is because we goal set. And I think having those, especially right now, you're sitting here with like, all sorts of crazy thoughts going on about, will the business succeed? Where will I be in 3 months? I mean, now is the perfect time to set small goals for each week with a bigger goal, because there's no reason to not think that 3 months from now we are going to be better off than we are right now, because we're going to be pushing and pushing and pushing and making bigger goals that we hope to achieve.
And the thing about goals is, is the analogy of you're going on a trip. Now, where are you going? If you don't really know, of course, the journey is always fun and all, but if you actually want to get someplace, you kind of have to know where that place is. So, goal setting.
Yeah, and these goals will position you to really be in a proactive position when all of our lives, come back to that normal position. Having these goals in place will have you sitting there ready to, just pounce right back.
Right. Yeah, I think we'll have to do an entire episode on goal setting one
Absolutely.
day, and I'm not sure exactly when that's going to happen, but it will, because it's a really deep topic. So anyway, that's goal setting. Another thing you can do is, creative challenges. We're creative people by nature. That's why we're in creative businesses, whether you're a photographer or anybody else is watching this who happens to be creative. Sorry, accountants. Again, if you're a creative accountant, well, then there's a special place for creative accountants. Anyway, just one thing that's going on now. Some of these just kind of find you, like our younger daughter, who you didn't see looking at us through the window to try to distract us. Out of nowhere said, "Hey, I would like during this time, not time off again, but during this whatever forced downtime, she wanted me to take a picture of her every day." I'm like, okay, well, she's never ever asked me that before, so I'm a photographer and I'm her dad. This is a great combination. Okay, well, it depends on how long this thing takes. That could be, if it was a week, absolutely no problem. I can just go through the easy bag of tricks and pull up a bunch of nice pictures of her. But assuming this is going to go farther, I'll get bored out of my mind and just constantly taking the same pictures of her. Now, she's a beautiful girl. I've got a lot of experience. We've got plenty of equipment. All these things come together to mean nothing if you don't challenge yourself. You can easily fall into the habit of doing whatever it is that you're used to doing, that you do under pressure. But now there's no real pressure other than the pressure to make yourself better. So I don't even know what I'm going to do. I just know, as I was driving just recently, a few ideas popped into my head, so I'm going to experiment with those. There's going to come a point when, oh my God, I'm empty. I have nothing, and I'm going to have to come up with something. And I find in certain jobs I go to, that you get on site and wow, this is nothing like I had hoped it's going to be. This is, to make this look good is going to be the challenge of my career. And what happens? We make it look good. Why? Because it's what I'm paid to do. It's what I enjoy doing. And I would honestly feel bad about myself if I couldn't make it happen. And so it's stressful. It can be if you approach this with with a lot of I don't know, whatever. It's stressful. Whatever. Okay, done. I'm probably cutting you out anyway. So yeah. So at the end of this, whether it's a week, 2 months, 5 months, however long this is going to go, I'm going to take a different picture of her every single day, and they're going to have to look different. So it's not just going to be different backdrops. I'll try different lighting techniques, things I didn't even think of trying because I want to grow. Again, I have to be interested. Again, I don't want to just hate this. Like she'll probably be happy if I just come up with a whole string of pretty pictures. I want them to be interesting pictures that make me feel like I was awake and alive and learning. That said, there's one other thing that we have both been thinking about. You can take an online class. You're watching this right now, so there are things out there which are more expensive than this because we're doing this for free. And some of these online classes are probably free, but you obviously can't get out into a classroom right now. What better time to figure out what you really want to do, what you'd really love to do, and do it. And you're not going to have more time than this later, so this is the right time to do it. And see, again, with that, if you actually get this and you just really, really dive into it hard and practice and get good at it, by the time this is over, you have just emerged on the other end of this with a new skill. Now, yeah, so you've just gotten better. So when you come back into the game, like, you're not the person that left. You're this new person who's even better than that old person was.
Well, exactly, and that's why your personal challenge with our daughter kind of fits right into that, because you're going to be put in at least 30 different days of situations where you have to come out with a picture that satisfies you and, makes you, professionally happy. Mm-hmm. But that will translate into, a future job where you have to come away with a portrait of somebody, and you've thought of all these different techniques you worked on in the last month.
Right. Yeah, if you're a natural light photographer and you're scared of flash, then what better time to just commit yourself to 30 days of flash. Make sure, just bang, knock out every scenario that you can possibly imagine with flash. If most of them are horrible, it doesn't matter. No one has to see this. No one's paying you. You just have to get better. Mm-hmm. If, on the other hand, you're all about the flash and you're just not really good at low light or things then turn the flash completely off.
Pointing to me.
And turn the flash off. Ignore your dog that's barking at the window, and just go and just do what you're not comfortable with. Again, if we only do what we're comfortable with, we never grow. So Mabel. So that's that. Just go for it. Just find out what makes you comfortable and turn the other way. Go into that dark room in your creative soul and find a way to turn the lights on.
And that could be the blogging part too, because since this is something that I end up doing more of, I hear all the time, "Oh, you're such a good writer. I hate to write. I'm afraid to write." I just approach it and just go, but that could be a challenge too, where you challenge yourself to write every single day. Maybe my challenge for the month, or I'm going to say a month. I hope it's only a month. Will be to read more. I mean, we read a lot, and I think we read from finance to self-help to
just cool classics. Again, personally, I've had For Whom the Bell Tolls sitting on my bedside, promising to read it for months now. Well, I just started reading it the other day, and it's a classic. So again, I'll knock that out, and who knows what else I'll knock out. But somebody said just recently, actually I think this is going to be a paraphrase on a Stephen King quote, that if you don't have time to read, you don't have time to write.
That's okay.
So thank you, Stephen. I really appreciate it. Love your movies.
Okay, so I guess my parting words would be to adhere to a schedule, set goals, follow through on them, and make sure you're not going to look back at this time period and think, how much more you could have done. Just take advantage of the time and keep pushing forward and make sure you're working hard on your business's success.
All right, sounds good. Don't get down on yourself. Again, it's an easy thing to do right now. Get creative and just keep busy. Again, these are all good things for the soul. You're going to get better at what you put your mind. If you work toward it, you're going to get better at it. So that's why I was saying before that don't keep doing the things that make you comfortable, because that's just going to put you. You're going to be the exact same person on the other side of this. Just lean into it, to borrow Sheryl Sandberg's line, and thinking about when you look back one day, you're going to see this as both a time of just tragedy for the world, but you look back as a time of growth and a personal change for the better for you. So again, it's kind of a two-edged sword. Let's look at the silver lining in this particularly gray cloud. Okay, so anyway, thanks. It was great talking to you, and I look forward to seeing you again.